All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of NBA Best Bets here on the Basketball Zone Cowbell Kingdom YouTube channel. I'm your host, Vince Miracle. You can follow me on all social media platforms of at VM Center. I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, FanDuel.com. Everyone go to FanDuel.com, whether you're using their sports book, you're doing DFS lineups daily. Go there, use promo code Kings Court. That's right, the name of my podcast, Kings Court, where I cover the Sacramento Kings, and they'll match up to $500 of that very first deposit. And guys, I know it's been a little hectic. It's been a little different seeing this show be what it's been, right? Like early on, it was something that we were bringing to you, and now we've been hitting. I'm at a 60% clip on the year. 60% clip on the year. It's been fantastic, a lot of fun. If you haven't done so yet, the subscription model that I told you guys that would be coming has finally arrived. NBABestBets.substack.com. Go there, subscribe now. I said on the previous video it was $30. Because of the subscription model and how we're using it, the lowest I can get it down to was for $30. So I apologize for that missed information, but $30, and that gets you for the entire year. And that means including the MMA picks, which I am going to have some huge picks for this upcoming fight against Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington this Saturday in MMA. But again, mainly on the NBA is what I've been covering. Obviously, being the show is NBA Best Bets. We're now at a 60% win clip on the year. You can check out our wins, our losses, how many units I'm betting, what my units are, what they mean each day. So it'll be one unit. I'm trying to see if I can get this thing screenshotted so I can show you guys how to do this here. But anyways, NBA Best Bets, you'll see one unit equals this amount. So then when you go look at the games, I tell you if it's 1.5, if it's 2, so you guys can see how much money I'm betting on the day. I tell you my bankroll to start out. I tell you what we can possibly win if this hits because of how many units and what the payout structure looks like. I go in depth on every single one of my articles. I highly recommend you guys jump in there right now. NBABestBets.substack.com. Occasionally we're going to give out the free trials. We did a free trial day on Tuesday. We had 2 picks on that day. We went 1-1. Unfortunately, we double dipped on one of them, which was the Golden State Warriors against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we took the Warriors, and we did lose. I mean, transparency is key. We lost that, but we did hit on the Brooklyn Nets, so that was a solid pick. And then follow that up with yesterday's picks, and yesterday we did pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. We had a total of 4 picks on yesterday's slate with a total of 4.5 units up for grabs. We gentlemen sweep the day. Charlotte plus 3.5. Indiana Pacers minus 2.5. We missed on Kings plus 6.5, but we hit on the Miami Heat plus 4.5. That was a 4.5 unit day. Knocked out with 3.5 units total for the win, plus some because obviously we're betting with the odds. And then the day prior, we went 2-0 on that Monday. So on the first day of the subscription. So we're hitting. We're getting finally at that 60% mark. I was fighting between 54, 53. I go up to like 56, but because of this gentleman's sweep and what we did to end February into the start of March, we are finally at that 60% rate. So that's a big round of applause there, not just for us, but for everyone that followed me on all those picks. I appreciate all of you. Man, that's a lot of fun. That's great to see. Excuse me. Big news going on in the forward, guys, is that to see these picks and what I'm actually putting down in terms of units and all that, you have to become a subscriber. So when we go down these games, I will be only going over like the things I like in certain matchups. It won't be, hey, I'm doing it for this many units anymore. Before I was telling you how much I was betting. Now I won't be doing that. You got to become a subscription model. We can go back and forth on questions. You're allowed to question me in there. I respond right away. I'm constantly tied to the subscription model. It's been great. Shout out to the few subscribers that I already do have. I appreciate all that love and support. And yeah, speaking of love and support, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button down there below, and also hit that bell button so you're the first one here so we can continue filling up this bag. Now with that all out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into today's game, where I'm actually pretty surprised that on a Thursday slate we have so many games. That's how you know the NBA season is finally starting to wind down, is there's so many games going on all at once, and every single day there just seems to be way more games than I expect. But today's slate, they stacked it. We have a lot of games today and a lot of good games at that. First up, we have the Chicago Bulls at minus 125 money line, minus 1.5 on the game. I like this game a lot for both sides. John Collins is doubtful with Trey Burke, Trey Young being questionable, but with this spread, I'm assuming Vegas has a sense that he is going to play, or there's a strong sense that he is going to play. He rolled his ankle in the previous matchup, but he finished the game. He finished the game against the Celtics. The money currently trending right now is 75% of big bettors the whale bettors are in at minus 1.5. That's 75% are at minus 1.5 for the Chicago Bulls. Again, the Bulls have talent. I mean, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan probably being named Eastern Conference Player of the week, or may have already been named that by this time this video already came out. That team is good. Offensively, they can attack you in multiple different ways. I mean, defensively, they struggle a little bit, but really good team. I just don't know if they have. I think the X factor is always going to be Vucevic, seeing what he can do against Clint Capella. He struggled in their last matchup. I do remember that. I have Vucevic on my fantasy team, but it's still a good game. I like the Chicago Bulls. I just think that the Atlanta Hawks do put up a fight, and the Hawks are at home. That's what makes this game interesting. We move on to the next game here, and it's the probably the game of the night. The Memphis Grizzlies, plus 120 on the road, plus 2.5, to the Boston Celtics, who will be without Jaylen Brown. It's very interesting to me that the Celtics are still favored in this matchup with no Jaylen Brown. I'm guessing they assume that Derek White automatically fills in as that next leading scorer, or Marcus Smart. I mean, they have the weapons defensively to get into the Grizzlies, and I assume that this line is purely based on them being at home, because if Jaylen Brown was playing, what would that spread have been? Would it have been the same? That I'm not 100% sure on. The matchup, though, I think that the Celtics still, even without Brown there, have the ability to guard every single position that the Grizzlies can throw at them, and that's another reason why they're favored. They're also at home, but this is the second night of a back-to-back. Like I said, they just played the Atlanta Hawks. They played Tuesday. Sorry, not the second night of a back-to-back, but they just played Tuesday against a very tough Atlanta Hawks team. Same type of matchup. Man, it can go either way. Let's go see where the big money is going. Currently, right now, in terms of money line, because I've been told that a lot of people like the money line odds in this game from a lot of people that I'm expecting. It looks like 62% of big bettors are betting on minus 145 for the Boston Celtics. However, with that being said, more money has been on this, and 84% of them are on the Memphis Grizzlies at plus 2.5. So more money at this time has been put on the spread, and they have 84% of people going with the Memphis Grizzlies at plus 2.5. I think just that distinction alone, just like the minus 145 being at a 62% for the Celtics, but the odds of the spread being at 84% with the Grizzlies, show you that this is truly a pick'ems game. And you roll with whatever one that you watch the most and probably understand the most. And don't read too much into the hype of just highlights, guys. Like, really know these teams. And I think that's one thing I can say about this game, is really know the teams, how they're going to attack. This is a very interesting matchup. I think this is a true test for both sides, even without Jaylen Brown. Very true test for both sides. Love this game. Probably game of the night. With that being said, you go on to this next matchup, and it's the Miami Heat against the Brooklyn Nets. And you're like, man, Brooklyn, to start the day. So this is what's crazy. To start the day, Brooklyn was actually 1.5-point underdogs heading into this matchup. Tonight they get back KD. Andre Drummond is expected to play. Seth. And those guys, obviously still no Ben Simmons, still no Kyrie because it's in Brooklyn and that mandate. But minus 1.5 now. They're now the favorites in this matchup at home against the second night of a back-to-back for the Miami Heat that still have no Kyle Lowry, who's out due to personal reasons. So you should expect more Gabe Vincent. Oh, very tough matchup. No defense still for the Brooklyn Nets. Heat here, plus 1.5. Interesting. It's very interesting how the tides have turned. Like, in a matter of hour, I was just checking this an hour ago before this video, like prepping this, and the Heat were still the favorite. I I'll give you a free pick today because it's changed already. So today on NBABestBets.substack.com, where you guys can see these picks, and they come out early. They come out, the latest they come out at 7:30 in the morning. That's the latest they come out. So we want those early runs, those early lines, and you guys get to see the modifications every time I make those changes if we hear news. That's why I try to get it out early. So I have the Brooklyn Nets at plus 1.5. That's what I started my day off with. I have 1.5 units on it. And then I also took them at plus 105. So I double dipped on the home team. I just think Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? And even though the Miami Heat are really good, they're a really sound defensive team. Offensively, they can hit some snubs. They like to play slow, where I think the Nets are going to try and play fast and at an uptick speed. But I think the big X factor for me is Andre Drummond and seeing how he plays with KD. That'll be huge. And I think the shooting of Seth Curry next to him and still having the ability to play Goran Dragic as a point guard against his former team, all good signs. So that's why I lean that way. And the plus 105 was just for 1 unit. So I did 1.5 on the spread, and then I did just 1 unit for a little quick double dip on the plus 105. So that was my quick pick for you guys today for NBABestBets.substack.com. Next up, we have the Pistons and the Raptors. Oh, hold on. Before I go there, let's go ahead. It's literally pick'ems. So it's 50% of bettors are on plus 1.5 for the Heat, and the other 50% are on minus 1.5. It's literally a pick'em, but on the spread, a lot of people are riding with plus 105 with the Heat, and I think it's just because this game is such a pick'em, they're rolling with positive money. So if you bet 100, you get $105. Next up, you have the Pistons, who have been on a bit of a win streak lately, looking good. Cade finally finding his own. The rookie really finding his legs now in this latter half of the season. They're 8.5-point underdogs to the Toronto Raptors. Money leaning heavily on the spread for the Detroit Pistons at 63% of bettors are on that. But again, almost 95% are on the Toronto Raptors on the spread. Again, I don't know. That game is just iffy to me. The Golden State Warriors still underdogs again for the second matchup in a row. They are the 2.5-point underdogs to the Dallas Mavericks, who are red hot, playing phenomenally well. But I don't want people to get too hyped on their last win. They did struggle at times against the Los Angeles Lakers. They had a chance. The Lakers almost had a chance to cover that spread as well, of like 4.5 until the very end. So I do think that the Warriors have to turn it around at some point. They are struggling. Obviously, we saw what they did against the Minnesota Timberwolves in their last outing, getting beat up like that. But they're still the Warriors. They're a very interesting team. They're a very fun team. And I think if there's going to be a matchup for them that allows them to do what they do, which is move the ball and play fast, it's going to be this Dallas Mavericks team. I think Luka has a phenomenal game. I don't know who slows him down on this Warriors team, but could be Wiggins. Doubt it, but it could be. Doubt it. Luke is going to have a game. Love this game. This is a must-watch game. A must-watch game. Not the game of the night, but a must-watch game. However, with that being said, 61% of bettors are with the Dallas Mavericks tonight at minus 2.5. Big money on the spread here for minus 2.5 for the Dallas Mavericks. And at minus 135, though, now this is interesting. At minus 35, they have it more of as a pick'em. They have it as 53% of bettors are rolling with the Dallas Mavericks, where 47% are with Golden State at plus 110. So yes, the spread is very heavily pushed at 61%. Anything over 55%, I call it pretty much a heavy push. It's a lot of odds and a lot of big money heading in one direction. They're on the Dallas Mavericks, but you have the Golden State Warriors plus 110 at 47% of bettors still going that way. So I think the money is in there. Yeah, the true money is with the money line. Kings Spurs is a very of a game. The one thing I will tell you guys is the Kings did have a delay getting from New Orleans to San Antonio. A long delay too. They were there to the wee hours of the night. And then they got into San Antonio. And this is the second night of a back-to-back for the Kings. They're 6.5-point underdogs. Take that with how you will. The money is leaning still slightly heavily with the San Antonio Spurs, as 63% of bettors are taking them at minus 6.5, and 90% are rolling with the Spurs on the spread. And lastly, you have the Lakers and the Clippers. There's no odds yet, or there's no money percentage yet, and I think it's because there's not a lot of money put into this game that they have calculated yet. I think this is going to be a high trending game. just because it's the last game of the night. It's LA versus LA. Clippers are the home team. The Lakers are struggling. Clippers still are without their main guys, but they find ways to get wins. At 33-31, they're still 2 games over 500. Very interesting team. Look, man, the Lakers got to turn it around at some point. I don't think LeBron's going to let this team go under, so I'll keep it at that. And those are the rundowns for today's pick. Now, I know Leo is busy. His new show is on Apple TV that he directed. He directed the whole season of the 2-minute drill on Apple TV. I believe that comes out today, right? March 4th. I believe that, or tomorrow. Tomorrow, March 4th, I believe, is when the first episode drops. Guys, go support the guy. Leo Biaz is director for 2-minute drill on Apple TV. You guys go check that out. So I don't know, because of how busy he is, if he's going to add the Brownings picks, which this show is sponsored by the Browning Picks. Great partnership with them. They give out that one Wells pick a day. For me, I gave you mine. We're rolling with KD, and we're rolling with the Brooklyn Nets at home. So that's going to be mine. Please, guys, I appreciate all of your guys' support. I want to thank you guys so much for continuous watching this video and for continued support. Keep spreading the love. Hit that like button for me, man. Let's get this thing moving and grooving. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep filling up this bag. Finally over 60%. Let's see if I can keep that growing. I love that number growing. Become a subscriber today. NBABestBets.substack.com. We're gonna have picks from NBA to MMA, even some Supercross picks, the NFL draft picks. We're going to have crazy playoff odds. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to continue filling up this bag. I put my reputation on the line, and I hope you guys know that I'm working my hardest to continue filling up that bag for you. Again, guys, if you haven't done so already, hit subscribe to this video. Hit that bell icon so you are the first one here every single time so you can continue filling up that bag. I've been your host. My name is Vince Miracle. You guys can follow me on all social media platforms of @VMCenter. Again, thank you guys so much for listening. Good luck tonight. And until next time, NBA bettors, peace.